So here we go, up in the top right hand corner, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. It is none other than Classic. And down in the bottom left hand corner, playing with the red Terran pieces, we've got Byun. So the last series I casted was a mirror matchup. It's PvP. So it's going to be nice to see a little bit more tickling from these probes. Probes don't generally like to tickle each other, but they do like to tickle SCVs. Classic building that Reaper wall quite close to the mineral line there. Nothing fancy going on just yet. Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any proxies or anything like that just yet. First gas on the way for Classic. We don't even have a tickle probe. Apparently they don't like to tickle SCVs anymore either. Monking123, thank you very much for the follow, by the way. I didn't miss that. How are you doing? How's your day going? Natural expansion on the way for Classic now. Second pylon going to be going up just in front of that. Reaper is on the way. And a factory is being built currently. Cybercore just about to finish up over on Classic side of the map here. And an Adept will be the first unit for Classic out of this gateway. Meanwhile, here comes that dreaded Reaper. Adept shading down nicely. In quite hot pursuit, that Reaper actually. Which will cancel the shade. And maintain a sort of perimeter between these bases by the looks of things. Gonna make sure that that Reaper doesn't try and come back. And it does look like she's going to be pushing to the other side of the map now. Two Reapers are out in the field now. Widowmine is in production too. There's a Hellion there. That shade perfectly dodging that first bolt of flame out of the Hellion there. But she will go down. Robo facility about to finish up for Classic here. An Observer will be the first unit out of that. Managed to get a Stalker. A couple of gateways at the front here as well. Looks like a tech lab on the factory. We've got a reactor on the barracks here. And another barracks on the way before a starport. Reapers look like they're off to cause some mischief, so let's have a little follow of them. See what those cheeky chappies are up to. Meanwhile, we do have a warp prism in production for Classic here. Observer making its way across the map. Gonna get some of that juicy scouting information. Meanwhile, Stim is in production for Byun back at home. We've got a bunker on the way as well. That's just at the front of the natural there. A little bit of a push here. Reaper's trying to get in with the Hellion, try and get some damage done on these probes. But there's quite a large force of Stalkers here, ready to defend that, and they clean that up pretty quickly. Immortal in production now for Classic. And it looks like siege tanks will be par for the course for Byun. Do have ourselves 3 Stalkers coming into this main of Byun's. One of them taking very large amounts of damage very quickly. Has to be picked up by the warp prism. That siege tank not sieged up just yet. Doesn't look like Classic has blink either. suppose you don't need it when you've got that rickety old warp prism blink. A couple of stalkers coming up here now, being elevated up, but it looks like Byun's got a pretty good handle on this. Immortal joining the fray now. And that warp prism finding itself in a very precarious situation indeed. Very low hit points now. The siege tank does go down. Cyclone firing from the top does manage to get a lock on. These stalkers are desperate to get the bunker, but I don't think they will. Still quite a few marines there trying to push this attack back. Still pretty equal in terms of army supply. I think it's going to be the mistake that decides it. And who is going to make that mistake? Siege tank has sieged up. Stalkers should be able to get this down. They do indeed, but the warp prism has gone down as well, which means that Classic has no more access to this high ground anymore. No blink, no vision, no getting in, buddy. Robo Bay is on the way, as well as a Twilight Council, +1 infantry weapons for Byun, as well as combat shields. Looks like a reactor on something. I'll try and figure out which one that is in just a second. Siege tank is now sieged up at the natural there. L2 Ghost, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you're having a lovely day. Disruptors are on the way now for Classic here. Got a couple more gateways on the way as well. Looks like Cyclone's trying to get into that third base of Classics, which has been put down. Blink is on the way as well. It's just started being researched. Looks like that reactor I was mentioning earlier was popped onto the starport there. Going to go to that 511 convergence point now. And a couple of medevacs making their way north. Just have a little look back at Classic HQ. Mampa Maravel, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're doing well, my friend. And it doesn't look like there's a huge amount to contest this back at home for Classic. Looks like there's a little bit of a push coming in here now at the natural as well. I'll try and keep an eye on both things for you. A lot of, oh my goodness, that's a lot of probes dying there. 21 so far. Recall is made, which definitely makes things a little bit easier for me when it comes to keeping track of the action for you guys. One of those medevacs does go down, but 22 probes is a lot to lose when you're 8 minutes into the game. Look at those worker counts, 40 versus 55, and the army supplies are looking none too kind either. Classic could recover from this. That third base is up and online, but definitely needs to see some damage of their own if that's going to be a possibility. Definitely needs to hold this third base for as long as possible. Widow Mine there gets spotted very quickly, very nicely indeed. And here we go. We're going to see ourselves an engagement here. Use siege tanks caught out in the open there. They're not sieged up, and I think that's probably for the best for now. GG is called. Byun takes game number 1. So no shenanigans from either player here. No proxies. No cheesy stuff. Doesn't mean we won't see any all-ins though. Think that command center's slightly off there, but I don't think that's going to cost Byun too much, to be perfectly honest with you. Marine will be the first unit out of that barracks instead of a Reaper this time, so see our first deviation from the last game. Nexus is on the way for Classic, and that Cyber Core is not too far away from being completed. Second pylon going up near the main mineral line. Another change. In the last game, that second pylon went down just in front of the natural there. Stargate will be the first tech building for Classic here. Concussive shells looks like is what the chef is cooking up here. Byun's going to be serving some tasty concussive shells. Righty, Adept is on the way out of that gateway. And this natural very much exposed here for Classic at the moment. We do have ourselves 2 Marauders. The Adept will get the scout on that. Completes the shade. Not quite ready for concussive shells and a Marine shooting you in the face. Tries to shade away, but Byun gets the kill. Oracle will be the first unit out of this Stargate here. And third pylon going down by the natural. Which I think is a good call, to be honest. Get some shield batteries up, because this is... Byun could follow this up with some quite aggressive play. Here come those 2 Marauders. Oracle is here though, will manage to be able to push away most of these units with help from the Adept. Needs a little bit of help from that second Adept there. And there we have it. Missile turrets now going up for Byun after seeing that aerial unit. A little bit of sky toss there for you. Stim about to finish up for Byun. Warp gate for Classic as well. Infantry weapons level 1 is on the way for Byun. Does look like another Oracle just popped out that Stargate. We'll just check that. Was indeed. Going to be getting a sentry walked in as well. Twilight Council will be the second tech building for Classic. Nice bunker full of Marines just outside of this natural base here. Classic going for 3 more gateways on top of this. Combat shields just starting up for Byun as well. Oracle's trying to poke in there, but the battery did make sure that they didn't see inside the front door. Also worth noting is that Byun has gone for 3 barracks before taking any other sort of production building. No factories, no starports. Going to be a stasis ward just outside of Byun's main here. Natural, sorry. Templar Archives is on the way for Classic as well as Charge. Oh, I told a fib. We have a factory here and a starport is on the way as well now. Oracle's desperately trying to poke their way in, see what they can't find. And I think Classic is looking to hold on here. A couple of shield batteries coming online. Once these high-tech units come online, should have a nice aggressive stance to step forward from. A couple more zealots being walked in here. Charge not quite finished yet. Oh, that Oracle gets caught out by that group of Marines there. Quite a few Marines coming in to reinforce this as well. Looks like Byun wants to just step on that gas pedal just a little bit more. Storm is on the way as well, so unlikely we'll see Archons anytime soon. Going to be using those high Templar for those Storms instead. +1 infantry armor is on the way. Also got a couple of medevacs which will help those bioforces after they've stimmed, heal them up a little bit. Got ourselves a reactor on this factory as well. Wonder if that's going to be Widow Mines or Hellions perhaps. I don't see an armory just yet, so it's unlikely to be Hellbats. It's going to be Mines. A couple of medevacs making their way into the main now. There are a few pylons here ready to spot this though. Feedbacks on those medevacs, very nicely done indeed. A couple of charge lots being walked in there, but they do get taken care of quite quickly. Probes are on the run, 12 of them have been taken out already. Templar Archives does go down as well, which means we won't be seeing any more storms. Meanwhile, there is an attack going on at third. I think I'll jump to that just now. Shield battery overcharge is active here, but that's taken down pretty quickly. Charge lots have a lot to do here to defend this. Only one left. Recall is made onto that third, but the drop is back in the main, and Byun is looking like the dominating force in this map so far. Shield batteries desperately clinging onto that adept who gets killed through the healing. Ground weapons level 1 is on the way for Classic, but I think it's a little bit too little too late. Widowmine's getting a nice shot off there. 27 probes gone down in all of this chaos. And even more bio units on the way. Not sure if any of you are familiar with the green tide in Warhammer, but this is the red tide of Dominion Terran. It's never ending. Managing to find themselves a little bit of a cluster of shield batteries and pylons here as well. Widowmine's going to burrow down there, making a little bit of a choke point, basically cutting those two bases in half for the meantime. Those zealots never stood a chance, bless them. GG is called. Byun takes game number 2. Now, not a lot to talk about in the first few minutes of a PvT, unless there's shenanigans going on. So we'll do what we usually do. Follow this probe on its magical journey through Oxide. Checking out the tall grass. Enjoying the sand between its toes. Don't think probes have toes. They don't even have feet, really. They just kind of float everywhere, don't they? Here we go. Gonna find itself that SCV up at the top there. Give that a little tickle. There we go. 3 matches in, and this is the first time we've seen a probe tickling an SCV. Natural is on the way for Classic. Back at home. Classic trying to hide that probe behind the natural mineral line of Byun there, by the looks of things. Does get spotted. I don't know if... Yeah, that SCV dangerously low on health there. The Marine is here, though, and the probe will be taken out. Second pylon being placed at the main mineral line. All very standard stuff from both of our players here. Marine is going to have a little check around, just make sure nothing suspicious is happening. Of course, no SCV scout, which means that Byun has no idea where the pylon placements are. It's going to be Stargate again. Feel like Classic got some fairly good stuff done early on with those oracles. Definitely kept Byun at home a little bit more than in the first game. I think Byun was a little bit cautious about moving out when there were big laser beams in the sky, basically. So gonna go to a 1-1-1 in this game for Byun. Also going for the expand, so not quite as an aggressive stance as match number 2. Got ourselves an adept who's having a little look around. Oracle will be the first unit out of the Stargate. We've also got Widow Mines on the way for Byun. Looks like it might be a Widow Mine drop. Was very much in vogue for quite a long time. I don't see it quite as much these days, so I feel like it's fallen out of favor just a tad. We do have a Hellion here who's ready to cause some mischief, but Oracle and Adept should be able to make quick work of this. Not before losing a probe, though. Looks like Classic is going to be going for quite a few Adepts here. Three's quite a large number. Not a huge number, but more than the usual. We do have ourselves an Oracle moving in here. Might be able to pick off some SCV kills. Those SCVs are on the run. Just managed to get one, though. The missile turret... No, that's a supply depot. My mistake. We do have ourselves a drop here, though. to keep an eye on that. Third is on the way, and Byun has seen that. And we'll be punishing that very quickly. Got ourselves a Raven on the way as well. Oh, Classic cancels the shades, and Byun sticks around to take care of that pylon. Of course. Oh, I was about to say, Adepts can't shoot up, so this medevac should be safe. Doing its thing for a short while, but Phoenix comes in and makes quick work of that. Stalkers are here as well. Should be able to push this medevac away. That Phoenix pushing forwards into dangerous territory there. And looks like both of these players are going to disengage. So Twilight Council on the way for Classic. Fortunately, didn't lose both of the pylons at this third base, so can start G'ing that up with shield batteries and whatnot. I think we're going to see ourselves a bit of a tussle here. Lock on that Stalker. I think it will get killed. It does indeed. Meanwhile, Byun managing to get an Oracle. Looks like Phoenix and another Oracle are going to go down now. Yes, they do. That medevac still got energy and is still in the sky. I say that just as it goes down. But hello, we've got ourselves a drop in the main. No, it's not. It's a Raven with a sentry turret. That's 3 probes down now. Charge is on the way for Classic now, as well as the Templar Archives. Stim is only just starting production as we hit that 6-minute mark, as well as infantry weapons level 1. Looks like Byun's going to start increasing that barracks count. Yeah, that Raven being as irritating as possible. I think the Phoenix is going to try and chase that down. Oh, I think it's lost. Has it lost it? Oh, I think the Raven's just managed to get away there. So Forge on the way here for Classic now. Marauders being added into the mix for Byun 2. Combat Shields is being researched right now. Siege tanks have been added to the mix while we were distracted by the Raven and the Sentry play there. Storm is starting up for Classic too. So once again, shouldn't be seeing any Archons anytime soon. I feel like Storm's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit. You don't see it as much these days, especially in the pro game. Seems to be Colossi and then straight into Disruptors. And sometimes even just straight into Disruptors. Almost reminds me of the PvP meta. Was Blinkstalkers and Disruptors. Okay, so concussive shells are on the way for Byun here. A couple of Widow Mines being added into the mix as well. Be interested to see where they end up landing. Phoenix are monitoring the skies. Going to provide some vision here. But it does look like Byun is going to be moving out here, making his way towards the third there. I think going to land somewhere between the natural and the third, possibly. No, coming in from the southwest side of this third base here. Siege tanks quite far forward there. A little bit of Cheeto dust just chucked on the ground by Byun. Shield battery overcharge has been activated, but unfortunately it doesn't really work if there's no shield battery anymore. Forge is about 2/3 of the way done for Classic, but oh, hello, some tasty storms there. Managing to big Widow Mine hit onto that Phoenix there. That Phoenix is lucky to be alive. 9 probes have gone down so far. A couple of charge lots being added into the mix here. And Byun once more looks to be all over Classic. If I pop the camera there, you should be able to see everything all at once. Oh no, those High Templar move command just running straight into enemy fire. And does look like those medevacs are going to get out of there scot-free. Ghost Academy is on the way. So Classic in a little bit of a rough spot here. 45 army supplied to 80. It's not looking good. I'm not going to lie, guys. Come on, Classic. We believe in you. Another engagement here. Lovely stutter step from Byun. Those charge lots never stood a chance. And once again, that red tide pushes forward. GG is called. Okay, so no scout from Classic this time. We'll see what Byun decides to do. I believe it's usually this SCV that comes out to scout, or this one. I think it might be the next one, actually. Tell him fibs. It's been a while since I played Terran, I will be honest with you. But I do know it's usually the probe that makes the gateway that comes out for the scout. Might be this one though. Nope. Looks like Classic is opting not to scout in this game. To be honest with you, it hasn't harmed him too much up until this point. So let's see if this match is an exception to that rule. So Cybercore on the way now. Looks like that second pylon's going to go down just in front of this natural base here. First unit out of the barracks will be a Marine. Let's see what Byun's got going on at home. Command center is on the way. Reactor will be placed onto that barracks. We have another barracks here which has been hidden. We're going to be going up to 3 barracks. So Byun wants a lot of bio units and wants them fast. Stargate is going to be the first tech building, tech production building for Classic. Adept shading forwards here. Let's have a little look at, not quite ready yet. We'll come back and we'll see which add-on buildings Byun decides to pop on those buildings. Because I know all you Terran players out there love to see all that sort of stuff. So it looks like it's going to be a tech lab on 1. Double tech lab or double reactor? What do we think? It's going to be double tech lab. Get those upgrades nice and early. Stim is on the way. What does Classic have going on at home? A couple more gateways here. Oracle is on the way out that Stargate. My mistake, sorry. Just the one gateway. Oh, I predicted the future. Look at that. There's the other one. Combat Shields is on the way as well as Stim. This is looking pretty aggressive from Byun, if I'm not mistaken. I'm somewhat surprised to see, or somewhat surprised that we haven't seen an engineering bay just yet with that +1 on the way. But looks like Marauder's going to be added into the mix. Perhaps we'll see some concussive shells instead. We shall see. Oracle and a Phoenix just chilling at home for Classic here. And 3 Adepts have a nice chill out back at home. Looks like 3 more are going to be warped in here. It looks like a total of 6 Adepts. Here we go. Byun moving across the map now. Combat Shields and Stimpack are about to finish up, or what could be a devastating timing. Factory is on the way back at home for Byun, as the bioproduction continues. There we go, there's Combat Shield. Stimpack is literally just about to... There it is. Adept shading forwards. I don't think they want to finish that. I think they want to be back here helping with this. So here we go. Phoenix pushing forwards, picking up one of these units and being killed almost immediately. Classic losing quite a few Phoenix here so quickly. Does look like the Adepts will be able to push this away though. Classic's production tab looking decidedly empty right now, whereas Byun is back with his foot on the gas. Classic clears that up quite nicely. Starport is on the way for our friend Byun here, as well as concussive shells. We've got a Twilight Council being produced by Classic. Robo facility as well. Not sure if I mentioned actually that +1 infantry weapons about halfway done now. Shield battery being produced. I think definitely missed that. My eyes firmly glued to the production tab there, but I think that may have been a Phoenix or an Oracle just popping in to say hello. Templar Archives on the way as well for our friend Classic here. And a nice brief lull in the action for the time being. A little bit of a soft reset. Charge being produced by Classic. That +1 is about to finish up for Byun. What's this on here? We've got a reactor on the factory, so I would imagine that's going to be more Widow Mines. Byun feels safe enough to expand off of the back of this. Storm has started up for Classic, and we've seen in the previous games how devastating Byun can be with some of the drops. So it'll be interesting to see. Oh, hello. That observer got there just in the nick of time. And it does look like Classic is rallying those units, ready for the defense. Couple of Stalkers being walked in there. Phoenix has come to join the fray. I would hate to see the cost value ratio of those Phoenix. There is an attack going on at the third. We'll jump over to that very quickly just so we can see what this poor immortal is up against. Shield battery overcharge, can't even save him. GG is called and Byun takes game. So here we go, down in the bottom left hand corner, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. Come on, Classic, I need to see a win out of you. It's Classic. Said the name really early then, didn't I? It was all in good faith. It's all for the good of the cause. And in the top right hand corner, playing with the red Terran pieces, it is Byun, who just seems unstoppable. Just has zero chill at the moment. Apparently wants to crush Classic beneath his heel. So, no barracks just yet. Okay. Byun's getting super greedy here. And I think this may be the first time where... Oh, hello. So Classic hasn't been scouting for quite a few of these games. And this is probably going to be the first time where the scout comes into play. And it's going to be so worth it. Byun has been very greedy, going for a CC first before that barracks. And Classic should be able to take advantage of this. There we go. He sees it. And that SCV way out of the way. Oh, okay. We've got ourselves a second barracks on the way as well. Just want to check how many gases so far. Just the one. I think this probe might get the kill on this SCV. There is another one coming down to complete the construction on this CC. Another one coming down to defend this SCV. It's like a conga line. Alrighty. I think that's that over. But I'll tell you what. We keep the probe selected. Go back. Have a little look at Classic Space. Do have ourselves a cyber core on the way. That Reaper wall is going to be up at the main mineral line. Back to the probe. Looks like that's making its way back home right now. We have ourselves a reactor and a tech lab on those barracks. Third barracks on the way. So once again, Byun looking to get as many bio units as quickly as possible. Twilight Council will be the first tech building for Classic here. Where's that placed? Can't quite see that one. Ah, just in front of the Cybercore. It's gone Cybercore blind. Classic mining a few minerals here. Maybe going for the third. Yep, there it is. SEV building a spotter supply depot. Almost tripped over my words there. To stop any drops coming in from the warp prism that could be built, but is not being built. Blink is on the way for Classic right now. We have a Stalker pushing forwards here. Gonna get some information. Not a huge amount of Marines here ready to defend this, but a bunker is on the way. Hey, I was right. Look at that. It is Whirlwind LE. Those high school Spanish lessons have paid off. So Templar Archives is on the way for Classic now. Stim not too far off being completed for Byun, and infantry weapons level 1. It's only really just started. Marine making its way around the map. We'll look around. Hello, we've got ourselves a robo facility as well. Classic sat here with 2 army supply, just dancing on the razor's edge. It's nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie. 3 gateways are here. I feel like if I tried this on ladder, I'd be dead instantly. Getting so many production and tech buildings. I don't think this Stalker makes it. I'll be honest with you. Blink is 10 seconds away. No, he's a goner. These Stalkers, on the other hand, may. I don't think Byun wants to stim those Bioforce, or this Bioforce, anymore. They're already on quite low HP. There is a starport on the way, but no medivacs yet, and not for quite a while. Another minute or 2. Possibly more in the minute and a half region. So Byun managing to find a backdoor entry here to the 3rd base. Couple of High Templar get picked off for next to nothing. Probes running for their lives. Stalkers do manage to get in the way and clean up these Marines pretty nicely. Mampa Marofel says, what is this? 2013. Does feel like that. Hello Marsbar, welcome. So +1 infantry armor on the way for Byun now as well. Najib 2, thank you very much for the follow, welcome. Hope you're having a lovely day. So Storm about to finish up for Classic here. Charge is on the way as well. Concussive shells is being researched by Byun at the moment. Oh, hello. This could be a very interesting play here. Observer making its way over to this gap, which means that these Stalkers can blink in. Looks like a medivac is making its way south across the map. But let's stick with this for now. So there are a few bio units here to be able to defend this, but it looks like a couple of Stalkers managed to get into the natural as well. It's getting scrappy. It's getting very scrappy indeed. Classic has found himself in a very tricky spot, and that's quite a lot. Quite a lot of army supply to be losing to that. Big storms here for the drop that's coming into the main. Oh, Byun taking some heavy losses there. No warpins just yet, though. We do have ourselves an Archon on the way, and it's going to be Stalkers that will help mount a defense here. Meanwhile, we do have a big long line of red making its way southwest towards that natural of Classics. Let's have a little look at that army, see what that's comprised of. Mamba Marathon chat saying, hope next map is Metalopolis. Some lovely blasts from the past. Charge is done. Infantry armor level 1 about to finish up now. Lovely storm went off there, pushing those bio units away. And it does look like Classic will be able to hold on here by the skin of his teeth. 70 army supply versus 66. Workers are looking like they're in Classic's favor. And despite the unfavorable trade at Byun's main, I'm liking Classic's position at the moment. In a lot better spot at the 8-minute mark than previous games, let's put it that way. We have ourselves a drop in the main once more. That gets cleared up pretty quickly. Robo Bay is on the way, as well as a second Robo facility. We've got the Shockwave upgrade for Ghosts on the way for Byun. And we have ourselves a Warp Prism on the way. Ground Weapons level 1. It's about to finish it up for Classic as well. Got ourselves a nice Bioforce just chilling out here. And here we go. First time we've seen Colossi from Classic so far in this series. And it does seem to be a lot more favorable than going for Storm in the Pro Leagues at the moment. Like I say, I don't see Storm all that much these days. Usually Colossus into Disruptors. Anyway, interrupt that just for now. We've got ourselves a little bit of engagement here at this triangular third base. It will be Classic's fourth base. Some lovely storms going down. Extended Thermal Lance is in production. Oh, doesn't manage to split that Zealot out of the pack, so quite a few of those units will take some damage from that Widow Mine. Meanwhile, we do have ourselves quite a sizable drop force coming in here. For Byun, quite a few units coming in northeast of this position. Getting fancy with my my compass points there. Let's see what's going on here. A couple of observers just hanging out here. And Byun's going to be looking to go for a bit of a pincer movement here. Not the biggest force up here on the northern side, but it does look like Classic has pulled quite a few forces up there. Yeah, there's nothing here in the main anymore. We do have ourselves a bit of a drop at Byun's main. A lot of charge lots here, and these SCVs just holding the line. They're not letting those charge lots forward, which means that the Marines can shoot through them and stay in relative safety. Lovely storms onto this Bioforce here. A couple of those Colossi will be recalled away to this third base. And Byun is forced to retreat one more. I don't want to jinx it, guys, but Classic is looking good here. +2 is on the just about to finish up, sorry, for Classic. Little bit of a tussle there. I think Archon managed to get a few shots off onto those medevacs that were trying to make an escape. Quite a few units descending, or quite a few forces descending on Classics here. Going to be coming in for a bit of a pincer movement by the looks of things. Big storms going off there. Lovely big storm at the top of the ramp. Byun running quite a few forces into that. Archon's being morphed in now. Those balls of energy being pushed forward. GG, and Classic takes game number 5. So keep an eye on this probe as it makes its way across the map. Doesn't look like Byun's going to be doing anything like in the previous game. Definitely cost somewhat. Ooh, cancel on that supply depot by the looks of things. Was that a mistake? Not sure. Natural is on the way for Classic here as well. We got one for Byun. Marine will be the first unit out of this barracks here, and another one is on the way as well. Second pylon going over in this spotter location just to make sure no drops come in. Classic has been tormented by Byun's drop play. So I think that's probably a good idea to pop that somewhere. Give you a little bit more reaction time. Byun gathering these Marines over here to defend that jump up spot. Any Blink Stalkers that may be on the way. And with that Twilight Council in production, it does look like they will be on the way. We've got a reactor on this first barracks here, by the looks of things. Looks like another barracks is in production, just about to finish up there. And a factory. So, Adept trying to shade forwards there. Does get caught out by the Marines. Has to finish the shade to get to relative safety. Going to be looking to finish off that cooldown. Running the long way round. And yeah, does manage to get away. Stim is on the way for Byun here. Widow Mine in production as well. Blink has started up for Classic. What else do we have? Third pylon going down just in front of the natural. Means you can build a wall just in case there's any Hellion play. Starport is on the way. So 3-1-1 for Byun. Hitting that convergence point. But hitting that before 1-1-1. Classic going for a third base here. Looks like Stimpack is on the way, about 2/3 of the way done now. Robo facility is being built by Classic now. And as predicted, yes, more Stalkers. Looks like we're going to have ourselves an engineering bay. This is feeling very much like a euthermal timing from Byun at the moment. All of these buildings and these upgrades lining up. Adept getting caught out a little bit there. Stalkers do manage to pick up an SCB for free though. Link is finished, as is Stimpack. Charges in production. Forge about to finish off for Classic back at home. Adding an Immortal into the mix as well. The bunker does finish up eventually. Looks like the starport and the factory are going to do the old switcheroo. Combat shields 10 seconds away now. SCVs coming in to try and repair this bunker. Looks like they're going to be successful. No add-on building onto this this factory just yet. Widow Mine drops here at the natural. Classic big hits there. 11 probes do go down. Meanwhile, a little bit of a brief tussle there. Sorry, I missed a little bit of that. Had to sneeze. Recall is made and the Stalkers are now back at home, which means that Byun can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief as those Stalkers are no longer banging on the front door. Concussive shells on the way now as well. Looks like that medevac full of Widow Mines is going to make its way south to relative safety. +1 infantry weapons is about 2/3 of the way done for Byun here. Adding in more medevacs, more marauders, ground weapons level 1 about halfway done for Classic, as is a warp prism. Meanwhile, looks like Byun's moving in here. We'll keep a little eye on that medevac over on the western side of the map, but the Spiral Force is going to push in. Lovely force fields there from Classic, and Byun has to pick up those Marines and Marauders and wait to try again. Third is on the way. Oh, hello. Think Classic managed to get those probes out of there just in time. Not seeing any probes lost over here on the left-hand side. What was I going to say? Forge, second forge about to finish it up for Classic here. Ground weapons level 2 is on the way. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a bit of engagement here. Byun looking to want to take that at first, and then seeing the rest of the units coming in, decided better of it. Warp Prism does get taken down, but not before warping in a few charge lots to try and slow down these Terrans retreating back to the Terran compound. Meanwhile, Classic has found a third base. A lot of Stalkers here to be able to attack that as it tries to fly away. I think he will get this lovely force fields there, and yes, the third does go down for Byun. Looks like there is a bit of a drop at the main of Classic, but I'll be honest with you guys, I think the action is here. SEVs have been pulled to try and help deal with this. 15 have gone down, which brings Byun to a 10 worker deficit versus his opponent. And without that third, it's going to take a little while to recover from that. Byun doing decently with the army supply though. 9 surplus over his opponent. Robo Bay is on the way. Looks like Classic might be going into those Colossi again. Possibly Disruptors. Second Robo facility on the way as well. Let's have a little look at this Warp Prism as it goes to make its way into the Terran main. Byun looking to expand behind all of this. 4 charge lots managing to find their way into the main of Byun right now. A couple more being walked in. Looks like there is a medevac on the way in. Let's just jump to that very quickly. It is Widow Mines, but it will be taken care of so swiftly. And these charge lots getting more and more damage done. It's almost a shame that Classic doesn't have the rest of the army here to pop in and snipe this third once more. They are on their way, but I don't think they will be on time. Not sure what these guys picked up here, but managed to find something to shoot or stab. And Classic will be returning home. Plus 2 ground weapons. About to finish up for Classic. 2 Colossi are on the way. It looks like Vikings will be the response from Byun. A couple of Widow Mines being added into the mix as well. Extended Thermal Lance being researched by Classic 2. Warp Prism does get found by the Vikings, and that's a Warp Prism and 4 charge lots. So there's the 4th on the way for Classic here. Ghost Academy being built by Byun. Observer does manage to spot this rather large Terran force making its way west through the middle of the map. They will find this 4th here. Is this enough for Classic to be able to defend? Splitting up those Colossus shots very nicely indeed. The Vikings are here. There are only 2 of them though. Pushing those Terran forces back beyond the bridges. And it does look like Classic is finding some decent damage here. Byun is reinforcing off the back of this though. Not sure how much more Classic wants to commit to this, but seems to be working. Oh, lovely blink to avoid that Widow Mine shot there. Armory is on the way for Byun. I think there's already one on the map. No, I'm mistaken. That will be the first one. Which means that Byun will be sat on +1 and +1 for quite some time. Whereas Classic going in for that +3. Almost had a lisp on then. +3 ground weapons and going for the +1 ground armor as well. It's like a little bit of a drop over here on the southwest side of the map. Keep an eye on that. But for now, an attack going on at the 3rd base of Byun. Doesn't look like Byun wants to attack into this, so let's just see what happens here. There are a couple of Colossus ready and waiting to help defend this. I think Classic is going to get the kill on that third. Does indeed. So I'm going to look back here, see how he's doing defending this natural of his own. Looks like the Nexus is going to go down, and I wouldn't be surprised if Byun's panicking a little bit as this oh, there it is. Classic takes game number 5. What's happening? Oh, sorry, game number 6. Game number 6. It's never ending. So here we go. Being an absolute trooper down here in the bottom right hand corner with the blue Protoss pieces, managing to claw back 2 games after what was looking like a 4-0 whitewash to begin with. Classic, you can do it. We believe. And in the top left hand corner, playing with the red Terran pieces, looking a little bit worse for wear, taking a couple of knocks to the chin from Classic. It is none other than Byun. So Classic opting to pop the Reaper wall near the jump up spot instead of the mineral line this time. Let's see what Byun's got going on back at home. Fairly standard stuff. No shenanigans, no funny business from either of these players by the looks of things. Will Classic scout this map? It does not look like it. So I hope you're all doing well in chat. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Absolute pleasure to bring you some games here from Alpha X. I'm of course Sulkosaurus. There we go, there's the natural from Classic. Looks like it will be a Reaper fast expand from Byun. I think this is possibly only the second or third time, I believe second time, that we've seen a Reaper out of Byun as the first unit out of the barracks. So, always a good unit to follow as they make their way across the map. Looks like it's going to be a tech lab on that barracks to begin with. Let's just double check that. It is indeed. And looks like it's going to be a second barracks before a factory. Going to be concussive shells for Byun this time around. Now, there are some nasty timings that involve concussive shells. I wonder if this is going to be one of them. Interesting to see how Classic responds to that. Templar, Twilight Council is on the way. It's been a while since I've got those confused. What do we have here? We got ourselves a factory. So 2 barracks before a factory. Got a Stalker managed to find its way into the natural, extending quite far in to get this SCV kill. Is it worth it with the Marauders with concussive shells? At least Classic has that information now. Reaper coming in now to attack this natural mineral line. There are 2 Stalkers here, but they're both on the low ground, which means that this Reaper will be able to get up to the high ground, get some valuable scouting information, but won't be able to get out easily. I'm fairly sure Byun got a good read on what was happening just there. So, warp gate about to finish up now. Blink is on the way. Byun with the starport and the stim. It's going to be a reactor on this factory, so I would imagine that's going to be swapped out for the starport. And fairly standard Bioforce in that case. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much of an aggressive concussive shells play. So, robo facility on the way. The Classic starport has just finished for Byun back at home. Nope, looks like Widow Mines are going to be produced out of that reacted factory. and just the one medevac out of that standalone starport. Blink's about 2/3 of the way done, as is Stimpak, give or take. A couple of Marauders in that bunker there, ready to defend against those Stalkers as they try and push in, potentially. Stimpak 3/4 of the way done, not far away from being completed now at all. Forge is on the way. A couple of Widow Mines making their way past those Stalkers. They didn't get spotted, look at that. Classic has got a third base online. Engineering bay about to finish up for Byun here. And +1 infantry weapons is on the way. We'll keep a little eye on this Widow Mine drop just on the south of the map. But yeah, I thought it might happen. Thought these Stalkers might try and get something done. Looks like they've been pushed away, so let's have a little look at the Widow Mine drop as it comes in. Good reactions from Classic here. One of the Widow Mines does get picked up. Probe will be sacrificed. It's life for Aya. Or else. Combat shields is on the way for Byun now. Another gas on the way. I think that's the third, maybe fourth. That will be the fourth gas for Byun. Another Widow Mine drop coming in here. Lovely reactions once more for Classic. And it looks like those Stalkers outside the natural are just going to sort of chill for now. A lot going on. I'd like to see what's going on at Byun's base just to see if there's any danger of for these Stalkers. Looks like those Stalkers are going to try and push in, but thinking better of it. Quite a sizable force of Marines and Marauders there. Another drop of Widow Mines here, burrowing down into the natural. Looks like a couple of probes going down there, maybe just the one. Medevacs once more making their way down the western side of the map here. And I think we may be about to see a tussle just outside the natural of Byun. It does look like it. Quite a risky engagement for Classic there by the looks of things. Ground weapons level 1 has just finished as I speak. And +2 has started very closely behind this. Hot on the heels of these blue Stalkers are quite a lot of Terran units. Another Widow Mine drop, and that will manage to connect with quite a few of those Stalkers, which is a shame because Byun is pushing in now. We do have the main being attacked right now, but let's have a look at what's happening here. Looks like these will be pushed away. I'm going to try and bat between the two. Looks like Classic has got a good hold on this. Not a very steady hold, but it does look like it will succeed sooner or later. 6 probes going down in that melee though. And Byun forced to retreat back home. Classic with a very commanding army supply currently. Robo Bay is on the way. I'm surprised we didn't see that sooner than the 8-minute mark. Warp Prism on the way as well. Second Robo facility is in production. Infantry weapons level 1 is in production, and Byun remembering that armory this time around. Did hamper himself somewhat by sitting on +1/+1 for quite some time there. It's always absolutely gutting when you forget that. So third about to land for Byun here. I'm wondering if Classic will be looking to expand to a fourth. It doesn't look like it at this point in time. Observer did get a bit of vision on that Terran force there, but didn't live to tell the tale. 2 Colossi are in production. There's +2/+2 for Byun on the way. Do have ourselves a drop of charge lots in the main. But that's quite a few Terran units there ready to defend that. So won't amount to much. 3 SCVs killed in the chaos. +1 ground armor is on the way for Classic as these Terran units chase up the ramp. But there's quite a few more where that came from. Medevacs managing to hoist those units behind the force fields. Lovely play from Classic and Byun alike there. Ghost Academy is on the way. Extended Thermal Lance just shy of being halfway done. Scan does go off at the top of the ramp, which means that the siege tanks will have vision of all of that area for the duration. Classic now supply blocked as that pylon goes down, but lovely pylon reinforcement here, making sure that those buildings stay online. Make sure that that Colossus won't halt its production at any time. Some very aggressive blinks forward here from Classic. And the stutter step micro is extreme. A couple of Vikings have joined the fray, but it does look like it's time to get out of there. Looks like we're going to be seeing some Archons over Storm. Widowmine's in a little bit of a cheeky spot there. It doesn't look like there's any observers to be able to help out with this. So, their cooldowns are probably going to run all the way down and get another shot off by the looks of things. Immortals are being produced currently. Oh no, here we go. Here comes an observer. He's on his way. Just before this this attack hits, quite like to see what's going on up here. Looks like Byun's preparing for to make use of that highly mobile Terran bio army by attacking in 2 spots. Micro Jackson looking strong, says Marsbar in the chat. I like that. We're going to see EMP upgrade for Ghosts on the way. And it looks like there's going to be a second starport. So, got a few more barracks on the way by the looks of things. So, going up to that 812, possibly 813. How many barracks we got? Looks like it's going to be a 712 for now. Classic jumping onto this 3rd base right now. It does look like Byun's attacking Classic's 3rd base, but this looks quite a bit more dangerous, I'm not going to lie, so we'll stick with this for now. Okay, let's have a little jump back. Does look like Byun managed to take out that 3rd. Top back to the action here. Archon's doing some absolutely brilliant work here, managing to protect quite a few of those Colossi. But one of them does go down. 2nd has gone down now. Charge lots pushing forwards. Looks like there's only one more Viking left. 41 SCVs have gone down so far. Things are looking bleak for Byun. Classic just needs to make sure that this natural holds. I think Disruptor was on the way and got denied there. I think he's just going to go full on base trade. They're base trading, ladies and gents. And worker supplies are starting to look bleak on both sides. Byun down to 2, Classic down to 39. Looks like Byun's actually opting to attack this 3rd here. A lot of production units taking off, running away now. Of course, Classic's buildings can't do that. I think a recall was made there to hold the line, and Classic has done it. Of course, with all of Byun's buildings in the air, he can't build out of them. Hero Archon managing to chase down quite a few of these barracks. Byun not wanting to let go though. Commentator's curse, there it is. GG. And Classic takes game number 7. What is happening? Not often players will lose an SEV to the Scouting Probe at this level. But it can, and it does happen. Probe does get picked up pretty quickly by an SCV. Looks like it's going to be a Marine first out of that barracks. No Reaper fast expand this time. There we go. There's the CC being placed down, and does look like this probe will be chased away. Cybercore going down to complete what is the partial wall, known as the Reaper wall. And okay, Byun's going to be going for a factory over a second barracks. A little bit of a deviation from their usual build order. It's going to be reactor on this barracks as well. And Classic once more opting for that spotter pylon. Looks like Twilight Council is going to be the first tech building. So expect to see some Blinkstalkers. Honestly, I'd really like to see Classic go straight for Colossus. After Blinkstalkers, obviously. Storms don't seem to be doing quite as much as I think he'd probably want. Yeah. Archons seem to be doing great. Soaking up a lot of those shots from the siege tanks. But honestly, Storm's not seeing as much value as the Colossus play, in my humble opinion. Robo Facility is on the way for Classic. Let's see if that shade finishes. No, it doesn't. Hellion coming out to play as well. Doesn't see the Adept. But likewise, the Adept doesn't see the Hellion either. Okay, Dark Shrine is on the way. Okay. We see our first little bit of tasty spiciness. More gateways are on the way. It does look like this could be some sort of DT drop from Classic. Not opting for gases at the natural just yet. Third pylon's about to go down. There it is. Okay, let's have a little look-see if Byun is prepared for this. Still got some energy left in the tank on these orbitals. Ah, there we go. There's the Raven, which will put a stop to DT drops pretty quickly. Here comes a drop of Byun's own. Warp Prism is on its way out, but... oh, it's getting spicy. Of course, with the DT drop, you do not want to be behind on the timing. So, Classic is going for it by the looks of things. Warping in a couple of Adepts, a couple of Stalkers to help defend with this. Is there enough minerals and gas to get in a full round of DTs? Doesn't look like it, just the one. Patrell 911, Patrell 919, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you're having a lovely day. Byun being absolutely the most irritating person in the world for Classic right now with this drop. 11 probes have gone down so far. Byun ahead by, let's say, 5 workers at this point. The Raven proving to be the absolute counter for this DT drop, this DT timing of Classics, and it's hurt Classic a lot. Let's not beat around the bush. Opting to go for Archons instead. I think that's a good call. A couple of Archon drops should keep Byun at home, which should let Classic recover macro-wise back at home. Looking to add a little bit to that pressure with some forces pushing at the front, I would say. Here we are. Here are the Archons. But there is a Viking added into the mix, which means that this Warp Prism could be in trouble. Oh, not with that micro play. Looks like Byun overextended just a tad to try and get that Warp Prism. Drop is going off at the third. Going to try and bat between the two interesting sides of this tussle. Always difficult when there are multiple things going on. That drop looking like it's going to be going over to the natural perhaps, but Classic is attacking the front wall of this natural. There we go, the Archon's coming back in once more. 5 SCVs going down. Lovely stuff from Classic here, recovering some of the losses experienced from the drops that Byun had back at this blue base here. So let's jump back into the production tab while we've got a brief lull in the action. Templar Archives has just finished up. Charge is on the way, as is Storm. Infantry weapons level 1 is in production, as is combat shields. Let's just have a little look at the upgrades. Only Stim and Warp Gate a piece. So a couple of medevacs making their way west across the southern half of the map. Let's see what Byun can do with them. Opting to fly around those slow zones, putting himself in what could have been an awkward spot. Usually there's a few buildings here, but not this time. Oh, lovely cancel. Or lovely deny on the observer, I should say. Oh, pylon going down as well, which means quite a few of those gateways go unpowered. But an Archon has arrived, as well as quite a few charge lots and stalkers, which will push those Terran forces away. Forge is on the way for Classic now. Classic very rarely going for the armor upgrades before sort of the 10-minute mark, unless I'm mistaken. So third looking very healthy. Couple of Marines coming in here. Do manage to get themselves a couple of Marines. I'm surprised not to see a few more shield batteries just sort of dotted around to help Classic. Having a little bit of trouble keeping on top of all of these drops. But each to their own, I suppose. Robo facility being reconstructed after the one in the main was destroyed. Vikings are being added into the mix for Byun back at home. Got a Coast Academy as well. Third is online. Not quite up and running. Well, I say that, and another 7 more SCVs appear by the looks of things. Here we go. Here come the Protoss boys and girls. There are adepts added into the mix, if I'm not mistaken. Well, there were. Oh, hello. Cancel on that gold base of Classics there. Once again, nothing here to defend this. No shield batteries at the third, which means that Classic is going to lose a few more probes there. But here comes some big storms out of Classic as this Protoss army descends on the natural. Another big storm there. Archon managing to take quite a few of those hits, but doesn't live to tell the tale. Let's have a little look back here at this third base. Charge lots have managed to keep a lid on that, but workers lost, looking very much in Byun's favor. Stalkers coming in to join the rest of the Protoss army here at the third base as we hit the 10-minute mark. Charge lots once again able to push that away. Ground weapons level 2 is in production for Classic now. Concussive shells on the other side of the map for Byun, as well as the EMP shockwave upgrade. Scan goes off as Byun pushes out. Gonna have a sensor tower. Let's have a little look where that's going to be placed. That's going to provide some nice vision for all of the entry points into Byun's base. Of course, this ramp doesn't offer you an entrance into the main or the natural, so the only thing you need to keep an eye on is drops coming in from here. Speaking of drops, over at the natural, got something going on over there. Gonna have to keep an eye on this medevac. Keeps popping in while the forces are mustering. There we go. Widowmine does go off. Oh, Vikings here do manage to pick up the Warp Prism. Let's keep an eye on those third and natural bases of Classic. Oh, hello. Juicy EMP going off on those High Templar, and once more, which means that they have 0 energy. Looks like an attempted drop was made there once more, but quickly pushed away by those Stalkers. Looks like Byun's going to try and force his way in here. But no Colossus in production, no Disruptors in production. This is a bit of a losing battle for Classic. If he doesn't get himself some splash damage soon, the match is going to start running away from him, let's be honest. Against Bio, you've got to have that splash damage. Opting to add in more High Templar. I'm not sure about this play, guys. If you disagree, please feel free to say in chat. Love to hear your thoughts. +2 infantry weapons are on the way for Byun here. Ground armor level 1 on the way for Classic, about just shy of halfway done. And finally, we see some cannons going down in some, or just one of the mineral lines by the looks of things. Planetary Fortress on the way at this triangular 3rd, 4th base for Byun. Byun looking to be in a very tasty spot. Ahead on workers, ahead on army supply, ahead on upgrades? No, not quite. Once again, an annoying drop managing to get far more damage than it should. 2 Marines managing to kill 2 probes there. Byun pushing into the very middle of the map. Always feels a little bit like an arena. It's like you've got the stairs, the spectator spots up here. EMPs once again obliterating the energy of those High Templar. Robo Bay finally in production for Classic, but I'll be honest, I think it's too little too late. Classic looking so good when he mixes some of those Colossi and Disruptors into the mix. I say Disruptors, we haven't seen any just yet. But yeah. Not wanting to adapt, wanting to stay on those High Templar. Look how many Archons he's got. Bioforce pushing behind the mineral line of this gold base of Classic here. And finding the relative safety of the northwest corner of the map there. Adept does get warped in. Colossus is on the way. Let's have a little look back here at Byun's side of the map, see what we've got on the go. Okay, got 8 racks. Looks like it's going to be 2 starports. Let's have a little look at this interaction. Just so many Archons here. Still relying on Storms for that splash damage. Meanwhile, drop coming in at the 3rd here, and this is a pretty tasty force. Picking up there, getting out. Looks like there's another drop over here at the natural. Cannon does manage to make quick work of the medevac, but more Terran forces descending on the gold base once again. But let's not forget, those medevacs are still there. 11 probes going down for Classic here. Please, just use shield batteries. Shield battery and a cannon. Just do it, please. +3 ground weapons on the way for Classic now. Extended thermal lance is being researched as well. More Vikings being added to the mix by Byun back at home. +3/+3 is on the way. Looks like a cannon is going to be built over here at the gold base. But I don't think it's going to see the light of day. The DPS out of these bio units is absolutely extreme. Meanwhile, more units coming in from the east side of this engagement, pushing up the ramp here. And Protoss having a little bit of trouble clearing up both of these forces. Looks like some of those Terran units are going to set up shop just behind that gold mineral line there. Classics production tab looking decidedly empty. Five more charge slots on the way. And here we go, another interaction here in the arena, as I like to call it. 8 more probes have gone down for Classic. Byun pushing back, forcing Classic to run into his own storms. Colossi desperately getting damaged, as much damage done as they can. Those EMPs on the Archons, oh god, GG is called, and Byun takes the series.